It's the second coming of the Renault Captur, a car that we probably snored at before we drove it, reasoning that a taller SUV-ish Clio was a silly idea no one would much care for. Whoops. It promptly landed Renault a smash hit, becoming the top-selling B-segment supermini crossover in Europe and the third most popular in the UK. Yep, we might pigeonhole newcomers in this class as juke rivals, but Renault's Captur is one of the big fish in this pond, and in true style outsold its Nissan rival in 2020. Not that there wasn't plenty of room for improvement in the old Captur, which had a bobbly ride and tinny cabin. What bodes well for this Captur Mk2 is that it's based, inside and underneath, on the latest Clio. And that means a new platform, more space, more strength and safety, and a comprehensively up-to-date cabin. I guess it gets Clio engines, then. Absolutely. You've a range of conventional turbocharged 3- and 4-cylinder petrol engines, or a pair of hybrids which pair a NatAsp 1.6-liter engine with electric motors for up to 160 brake horsepower, with regular and plug-in versions available, both wearing E-Tech badges. Yep, diesel is dead here too. Renault says that the hybrid system is inspired by the energy use and recovery systems found in its Formula One engines, and it's particularly addictive putting it in B mode via the gearbox selector, which ups the level of regenerative braking when you lift off the throttle, giving the full plug-in hybrid the option of one-pedal driving just like a full EV. Clever. What else should I get excited about? Check out the new seats, which look suspiciously like they're from a recent Volvo. No higher praise than that, really. In fact, the whole cabin is the headline here. It's way nicer inside than the old one. Sure, that's like saying a hotel room is smarter than a windswept tent, but still, the Captur isn't just a whole load more handsome on the outside, it's grown up and gotten its act together inside, and that's most welcome. Roomier too, but that's courtesy of the whole car swelling in every dimension. There's plenty of other exterior changes too, with a wider front grille, tough-looking front and rear protection skid plates, prominent wheel arch extensions, slimmer LED lights at both ends, and touches of chrome trim bringing it in line with its Clio and Megane siblings, with little of the stylistic quirkiness that some of its rivals suffer, no names mentioned. There's also little to tell the electrified version apart, beyond a subtle badge here and there. Prices start at just over £20,000 for the lowest powered petrol engine, rising to just shy of £33,000 for the PHEV InfoSporty RS line trim. Our choice from the range. Renault Captur E-Tech Top Gear Review. Renault 0.9 TCE 100 Iconic 5DR. 18,870 pounds. See prices and specs. What's the verdict? Jumped-up Clio is miles less tinny than the old one. Brakes no rules, but it's good-looking, refined and comfy. That the Captur is a night and day improvement over what it replaces in looks, refinement and cabin quality is not up for debate, backed up by the fact it's the firm's best-selling car in Britain. Renault's pulled off exactly what it needed to with the Captur Mk2. It's hardly interesting to drive, but then again barely any crossovers are, and that's not their purpose, either. It's a fitting contender for the fastest-growing car sales segment in the UK. The looks and the road manners are the standouts. The spec list is strong and it's roomy enough to justify its existence next to the Clio. It won't be the most interesting car you read about today, but it's good enough. The hybrids offer an interesting option. This is Renault's latest attempt at a mid-size family crossover, and given the popularity of these things currently, therefore a big deal. It comes only as a full hybrid. That pitches it against the likes of the Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage HEV, Nissan Qashqai e-Power and Toyota RAV4. Renault actually designed the Austral to be launched in 2021, but then switched the sequence between this and the Megane E-Tech Electric. However much crossovers matter, it seemed more urgent to get the electric hatch out there. Fortunately, the Austral doesn't seem out of date as a result. It gave Renault extra time to hone the complicated powertrain and four-wheel steering. More on that in a bit. It's also avoiding, at the moment anyway, a plug-in hybrid version, because those are expensive and Renault reckons lots of people don't plug them in often enough to save significant petrol, or buy them for tax benefits. We can see the logic there. What do you make of the looks? In that interval between design freeze and launch, Renault got a new design director, Gilles Vidal. But he didn't change much. It's a handsome thing, even if it inevitably finds it hard to stand out among a sea of other crossovers. Especially in profile. Still, it has a good solid stance, the high-spec UK cars running on big wheels. Fancy LED lighting lifts the front and rear views, yes. It's Renault's geared hybrid system, E-Tech, in which you have a 1.2-liter petrol engine with a simple 4-speed gearbox, plus an electric motor with 2 gears of its own. Those two have 15 different allowable permutations of drive, either combined or singly. In fact, it always starts off in electric drive because there's no clutch, another reason it's simple and light and compact. A second smaller motor starts the engine and synchronizes the gearshifts. In the smaller Renaults, this hybrid setup runs at 280 volts and is paired with a basic 4-cylinder engine. Here it gets 400 V and a 3-cylinder turbo, which is more powerful, torquey and quiet. It improves the experience and gives a useful 200 brake horsepower combined, plus up to 60.1 miles per gallon on paper. Even more significant if it's your company car, all versions, even on 20-inch wheels with the extra weight of four-wheel steering, score under 110 G/km CO2. Its hybrid rivals are mostly around 125-130 G/km yup. It gives the Austral a city car-like 10.1-meter turning circle. It also comes with multi-link rear suspension and it's rather good, making it easier to thread through cramped streets and multi-story ramps, as well as improving main road stability. Moreover, on the driving tab, without that option you're running on a simpler torsion beam rear suspension, which will likely mean less steering precision and more road noise. We'll let you know when we've tested that. It's undoubtedly generously equipped, with a 9.3-inch head-up display, 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and 12-inch infotainment display, offering Google Maps, Google Assistant and Google Play Store functionality, included as standard across all trims. It certainly all looks the part, with both screens bright and high in resolution, while user functionality is on par with, if not better than, the majority of rivals.